Project Glasswing and open source software. The good, the bad, the ugly. Find the article and read it for yourself. I will include the link in the description. So this is going to be a little bit long, so if you have a commercial, I'm sorry. But I'm going to get a little bit winded in this, and yeah, because you got Mythos and Anthropic, and when you connect all the dots, you'll be like, oh shit. I'm I'm just saying. I mean, first and foremost, you've got the Claude program who can barely detect 0-day exploits. And then with Mythos, suddenly it can detect thousands of them. Like, what the hell? And so, if you go by the data that's been provided to us by Anthropic, you're like, that's just, well, that would explain why they're keeping it behind a wall and they're not releasing it to the public and they're only letting cybersecurity professionals and open source software developers have access to it because basically Claude Mythos can break any computer. That's what they're telling us. The two biggest claims so far is like there's a 27-year-old bug that's in OpenBSD, which is a Linux operating system, and that particular Linux operating system is hardened to do things that, to prevent these types of things. And it found a 27-year-old bug that no one has ever found before. And then, of course, there's the 16-year-old bug that was in FFmpeg's video encoding. Again, 16 years and no one found it, no one discovered it, no one exploited it. And it literally had found thousands upon thousands of these exploits. And this is why it's not being released to the public because Anthropic is like, no, no. We know who will exploit this the most. And who does Anthropic think is going to abuse this the most? The federal government, of course, because if you have something that can break into any computer system, would you not be tempted to use it to take out your political rivals or your public enemies or and this is why Anthropic wanted that condition in their contract that you'll not use this against the American people. And the government said, we have rules and policies to prevent us from this. And they're like, no, put it in writing. And the government basically said, now you're a national security risk. Yeah. So to me, you can't tell me that Anthropic didn't have this as an ace in the hole in the background. They knew that what Mythos could do before coming up to this contract with the government. They knew what it could do, and it was like, we need you to put this in writing, and the government's like, no, and yeah. So Anthropic knew. Anthropic knew beforehand that if the government got their hands on this, that it would be misused. I mean, and why wouldn't you? Here's for everyday person. Let me put a pallet of $3 million in your living room, all in ones, 3 million ones on a pallet in your living room, and tell you not to touch it. Aren't you at least going to be tempted? Are you not going to take a couple bucks, maybe put it back later? A situation comes up, you need your car towed, you know, kid gets sick, you're not going to touch it? I find that highly unlikely. And therefore, I find it highly unlikely that the government wouldn't abuse it. So Anthropic knew. They knew what they were doing. And to that, you can't tell me that this was an accident. No. I'm pretty sure, just my feeling, again, take it as a grain of salt, I'm pretty sure that was deliberate. You know, because if you've got this Mythos program that can find exploits in any piece of programming out there, and it finds this exploit in your code software, and you allow it to be compromised, Why? Why? That just no. That was deliberate. I'm quite sure that was deliberate because if you threw the Anthropic code out there, I mean, one, you got all the criminals who are going to take advantage of this at will, but then you might start seeing using Mythos if Claude is being abused elsewhere. And so this was a honeypot, if you want to call it that. That's what cybersecurity uses it for. They call it a honeypot. Yeah, that's what it is. But if the code is out there and you know how that code works and you know the signatures of your own software, so when you see these attacks coming in and you see the smiley face of Claude behind it, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can't tell me that Anthropic does not know or did not know or did not plan. That's my hot take. You can't prove this me to me otherwise. I mean, that's just my thoughts and opinions. I'm sure you're going to share yours. Talk to you later.